You can't receive abundance when your nervous system thinks that rest is dangerous. And if you've been trying to hustle your way into wealth, you've been working against the very thing you're trying to create. This is for the woman who's exhausted from overworking, but terrified to stop. The one who believes that if she just does more, tries harder, shows up bigger, the audience will finally come. The ex-church girl who was taught that suffering equals virtue and ease equals laziness. You know you need to rest. You know you're running on empty. But every time you think about slowing down, panic shows up. Because slowing down feels like losing money, like falling behind, like giving up on the dream. So you keep pushing, you keep hustling, you keep producing, and somehow the money still isn't flowing in the way you thought it would. By the end of this, you're going to understand why overwork blocks abundance, how nervous system regulation is the foundation of receiving, and why rested energy attracts clearer clients and cleaner money. Welcome to Your Witchy Mother. We cover everything your mother never taught you without the guilt. Body-led choices, steady money, clear boundaries, with practical rituals and zero performance. Hi, I'm Melanie, your witchy mother. I help women who left control-based systems remember their power and live it daily. Let's talk about why rest is the most profitable thing you can do. If you're exhausted, you're not magnetic. You're leaking energy everywhere you go. Let's start with the uncomfortable truth. Overwork doesn't create abundance. It blocks it. Because here's what happens when you're running on empty. Your nervous system is in survival mode. Your body is in fight or flight. And when you're in that state, you're not receiving, you're defending. Think about it. When you're exhausted, what do? You say yes to clients that you know aren't aligned because you're afraid to turn down money. You undercharge because you don't have the energy to hold your boundary. You take on work that drains you because you're operating from scarcity, not clarity. That's not abundance. That's survival. And the universe doesn't respond to survival energy. It responds to coherence, to steadiness, to the kind of clear, rested energy that says, I know my worth, I trust the flow, and I'm not available for anything that doesn't match my frequency. But you can't hold that frequency when you're exhausted. When you're depleted, your energy field is scattered. You're giving away your power in 1,000 tiny ways. Saying yes when you mean no, tolerating disrespect because you need the money, performing for approval instead of standing in your truth. And money follows coherence. It follows clarity. It follows the people who aren't desperately grasping for it. Overwork doesn't make you wealthy. It makes you available for anything. And that's exactly what keeps abundance away. The month I stopped hustling, my income doubled. And it wasn't a coincidence. Let me tell you about the month that everything shifted. I was burnt out, running a business, raising kids, trying to prove I could do it all. My pricing was a mess because I was so tired I couldn't think straight. I was saying yes to clients I knew weren't aligned because I was afraid to turn down money. And one month, my body just stopped. Not dramatically, just quietly. I couldn't push anymore. I physically didn't have it in me. So I rested. I cut my work hours in half. I raised my prices because I couldn't afford, either energetically or financially, to keep undercharging. And I said no to 3 clients who didn't feel right. And you know what happened? My income doubled. Not because I worked more, but because I finally had the energy to hold my worth. I literally took a nap and woke up to money in my bank account one time. I finally decided to show up clear instead of desperate, to attract clients who matched my frequency instead of clients who needed me to shrink. And that's when I realized rest isn't the opposite of abundance, it's the foundation of it. Because when you're rested, you're not leaking energy. You're not saying yes out of fear. You're not tolerating bad clients because you're too tired to hold your boundary. You're clear, you're steady, and that clarity is magnetic. You can't receive when your nervous system is in survival mode. Here's what most people don't understand about money. It's not just practical, it's energetic. And your nervous system is the gatekeeper. When your nervous system is dysregulated, When you're running on adrenaline, cortisol, and caffeine, you're in survival mode. And survival mode doesn't receive, it defends. It says, I need to control this. I need to work harder. I need to prove I'm worthy. I need to make sure I don't lose what I have. That energy repels abundance because abundance doesn't flow to grasping. It flows to openness. Think about the last time you received something unexpected, a gift, a compliment, an opportunity. What was your energy like? Were you frantic and desperate, or were you calm, open, and grounded? My guess is that you were in a regulated state. Your body felt safe, and that safety created the opening for something good to come in. That's how receiving works, not through force, through coherence. And you can't be coherent when you're exhausted. You can't hold the frequency of abundance when your body is screaming for rest. So if you want more money, better clients, cleaner opportunities, the first step isn't working harder. It's regulating your nervous system. It's giving your body the rest it needs to shift out of survival and into receptivity. That's the work, not the hustle, the regulation. Rested energy attracts clients who respect your boundaries. Exhausted energy attracts clients who test them. Let me tell you the difference between clients I attracted when I was exhausted versus clients I attract now that I'm rested. When I was burnt out, I attracted clients who needed constant reassurance, pushed my boundaries, expected me to be available 24/7, questioned my pricing, wanted more for less. And when I started prioritizing rest, my client base completely shifted. Now I attract clients who trust my process, respect my boundaries, pay on time without question, value my expertise, they don't question it, and they show up ready to do the work. Same offers, same pricing structure, different energy. Because here's the truth, your energy is your filter. When you're exhausted, you're signaling, I'm available for anything. I need you. I'll bend to keep you. When you're rested, you're signaling, I know my worth. I trust my value. I'm not available for misalignment. And people can feel that. Clients feel that. Money responds to that. Rested energy doesn't just attract more clients. It attracts better clients. The kind who respect your time, honor your boundaries, and pay you what you're worth without negotiation. That's not luck. That's coherence. That's what happens when your nervous system is regulated and your energy is steady. You stop tolerating clients who drain you because you're not operating from desperation anymore. You're operating from clarity. And clarity is magnetic. So let me reframe this for you. Rest is not a luxury. It's the most profitable decision you can make. Not because you're doing less, but because you're finally creating the conditions for abundance to flow. When you're rested, you make clearer decisions, you hold your pricing without wavering, you say no to clients who aren't aligned, you show up with the kind of steady energy that attracts wealth, and you stop leaking money through undercharging, overgiving, and tolerating disrespect. That's not passive. That's strategic. That's you choosing coherence over hustle, and coherence always wins. So if you're exhausted and broke, the answer isn't working more. It's taking a nap. It's resting more. It's regulating your nervous system so you can finally hold the frequency of the abundance you're trying to create. You can't receive what you're not energetically available for. And you can't be available when you're running on fumes. Rest first, receive second. That's the order. The world doesn't need more exhausted women hustling for scraps. It needs women who are rested, clear, and ready to receive the wealth they deserve. That's you. Let's do this.